Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope that each and every one of you are well and have had an awesome and amazing day. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Beautiful Living with Keisa, where we dive into real life conversations about living a fulfilled, empowered life. I'm your host, Keisa, the beauty coach. I empower women to live beautifully in life, business, and style. And tonight's episode is all about you. As women, whether you're a mom, a wife, or a busy professional, it's easy to feel like everyone and everything else comes before your needs. But here's the truth: putting yourself first isn't selfish, right? It is not selfish. It is a necessity, it is necessary. And I talk about it so much all the time. And in my book, The Journey to Beautiful Living, 7 Pillars for Living a Fulfilled Life, right? And so it is so crucial that you know that putting yourself first isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you prioritize your own well-being, you're better equipped to show up with love. You are more equipped to show up with energy and patience for those who matter most. So tonight, we're diving into the why and the how of putting yourself first so that you can truly live a fulfilled and balanced life. But before we dive in, I want to remind you all to join the Beautiful Living movement. This is your opportunity to connect with like-minded women who are all about creating a life that's balanced, joyful, and authentic. So for more information, go to bit.ly / capital B, capital L movement. So that's bit.ly / capital B, capital L movement. I'm going to give it to you one more time. That's bit.ly / capital B, capital L movement to sign up for the interest meeting that's happening this coming Saturday, because you deserve to live beautifully. And don't forget about the Style 911 for the holidays is here to help you shine this season. If you're looking for tips to elevate your personal style and make a statement every holiday gathering, I've got you covered. So stay tuned for more details about that. Now let's dive in. So why putting yourself first is not selfish? Let's talk about that for a second. Society pressures women to give to others before themselves. For generations, societal norms and expectations have placed women in roles that prioritize caregiving and selflessness. The pressure to constantly put others first leaves women feeling drained, unappreciated, and disconnected from their own needs and desires. And when I can relate to this so much because back in 2014, back in 2014, I found myself laying on my back, right? I found myself laying on my back where I couldn't do nothing at all, right? I couldn't listen to my kids' voices. I couldn't listen to TV. I couldn't listen to sounds. I had knocked my hormones completely out of whack from putting everybody's needs before my own. And I got coined by my friends Superwoman. I was walking around with this S on my chest that people just saw me as Superwoman. They said, I don't know how you do it all. And I got coined that. But that Superwoman mentality and that Superwoman go get it and do all things landed me in a place in a space that was not good, that was not healthy, that I did not take care of myself. So let's talk about the Superwoman myth for a second. Society often glorifies women who juggle everything flawlessly, right? Motherhood, marriage, work, and community obligations, right? Without acknowledging the toll it takes on us. Women are celebrated for being selfless caregivers, but rarely praised for prioritizing their personal goals, self-care, or boundaries, right? This myth creates unrealistic expectations, leading to guilt when women chooses herself over other people. And I've seen it time and time again. We do things so well that we often find ourselves in a place in a space where we are overwhelmed, right? We are We are overwhelmed. We are burnt out. We are stressed. We are depressed. Anxiety sets in, and it's not a good place to be at all, right? And so we have to know that it's okay to take the cape off. We have to understand that self care is a necessity. And so that brings me to the culture and family conditionings, where many women are raised with the belief that their values comes from how much they can do for others. That is a conditioning that we as women have seen and have been taught by watching the people, the women that have come before us. For you, if you're just joining me, I shared how I doing the most and not putting myself first and putting the needs of everybody else. I landed on my back. For 2 whole months, I couldn't do anything for myself at all. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't listen to my kids' voice. I couldn't cook. I couldn't clean. I couldn't do any of it. Hey, girl. Hey, 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 sis. Hey. And so I could not do nothing. So much so, prior to me knocking my hormones completely out of whack for doing the most and not putting myself first, my friends called me Superwoman. I was often called Superwoman all the time. Superwoman, Superwoman this. I don't know how you do it, Superwoman. Let me tell y'all something. That ain't nothing to be running home about and be saying, oh yeah, I'm Superwoman. That is not a good thing as a woman, because I just went over the Superwoman myth, which I was coined that by my friends, right? I was coined that by my friends. And after coming out of that situation for 2 months, because society often glorifies women who juggle everything flawlessly. We just get it done. We do things so seamlessly and so effortlessly that we are glorified for doing all the things in motherhood, all the things in marriage, work, community obligations, all the things, right? And we are celebrated for being selfless caregivers, but rarely praised for prioritizing our personal goals, our self-care, our boundaries, right? And so this is often because of what we see. We see our parents, our moms, our grandmothers, all them doing all the things, right? And we naturally go into this space where we take on, and nobody is teaching us that it's okay to prioritize self first. Nobody's teaching us that it's okay, that self-care is not a selfish thing, or it's a necessity. So I had to take a moment to, while we're in this holiday season and everything is going on and we're about to get in the kitchen, because that's what we do, right? And we're doing all the things, to remember that putting yourself first during this season is a necessity. It is a necessity every single day. As a mother, it is okay to put yourself first. Them kids can wait, okay? Those kids can wait. It is okay to put yourself first if you have a spouse. He can wait too, right? At work, all the things. Putting ourselves first is a necessity for our own well-being, right? And so cultural norms often dictate that a good wife, a good mother or daughter sacrifices her needs to ensure everyone else's is happiness, right? That is not, we have to undo that, because for those of us who have daughters like I do, I have 3 of them, have to show them something differently. We have to show them that it's okay to take care of themselves first before taking care of other people. If I'm honest, there was a time in my life where I felt like it was my duty to make sure that everyone else's dreams came true. I mean, that's part of my calling. That's part of my purpose. And I was operating in that, even with my family, making sure everything they wanted to do, but wasn't taking care of my needs or communicating what my needs were at first. I got to a point where I started to communicate what I needed. And oftentimes, as mothers, as wives, as all the hats that we wear, we just do it begrudgingly. We're tired. We don't take the time to say, time out. This is what I need. Okay. I need 30 minutes when I come home. I don't need nobody calling me mama. I don't need you saying honey. This is what I need so that I can be the best that I can be for you guys once I take what I need, right? Because we are supposed to operate from the overflow of the cup. Nobody tell us that. Not the full cup. The full cup belongs to you. The overflow is what you give out to other people. And oftentimes we don't let our cups fill up before emptying it for what somebody else is needing. We're tired, we're burnt out, we're stressed, we anxiety, we got attitudes, and it shows up in every other area of our lives, right? So this conditioning can make it difficult for women to recognize when they're overextending, when we are overextending ourselves, as they may see it as a duty to do. It's not a duty if you're not taking care of yourself first. You have to take care of you first before you can take care of other people. Okay. And so, yes, I'm seeing these hand claps over on Instagram. And so when it comes down, I already told you, we have to get rid of this superwoman myth. We are not super women. We cannot. Let's take off the cape. Let's take off the cape. Let's talk about what it is that we need. Let's share that with the people that needs to hear it, because they are not mind readers. And because we do things so well every single day, they feel like we got it. And then you up here on the phone with your girlfriends talking about, I'm sick and tired of them thinking I can do everything. And that's not cool, because you're not communicating what it is. Yes, Dr. T, got to communicate what it is that we need at all times, because they're not mind readers. Okay. And so let's talk about the workplace expectations. So for those of you that are in the workplace, women in the workforce are often expected to take on additional emotional labor, such as mentoring, organizing events, or managing team dynamics without recognition or even reward. And I remember being in a place where, when I worked the 9 to 5, the team that I was on was predominantly women. We had 2 men that just sat back and enjoyed all the happenings, right, of us putting things together. And because that is our nature, to just get in and jump in and just go forth, adding more to our plate, men just sit back. Be like, let me know when to show up. Let me know when we need to, when I need to be in place. Let me know if you need me to do something. Okay. But oftentimes we never ask. We just say, come on, it's ready. Or come on, we're going to go do this, or we're going to go do that. Right. And there's pressure to do it all, excel at work, while also managing a household, also raising children and supporting our spouses, or not my spouse anymore, because guess what? I'm divorced now, but without showing signs of struggle. But women, I think it's our fault for not speaking up and letting our loved ones know what it is that we need. So we have to communicate that. And what about in media and social standards, right? Media often reinforces the idea that women should be everything to everyone. Commercials, TV shows, and social media depicted women as caregivers, problem solvers, and nurturers, right? While self-care is framed as a rare luxury instead of a necessity. Here at Beautiful Living, we believe that putting yourself first is a necessity. So social media in particular can amplify feelings of inadequacy by showcasing women who appear to have it all together. But the truth of the matter is, people post what they want you to see. They don't often post the struggles. They don't often post the real stuff. They want you to see the glorified stuff. Now, if you go back and do some digging on my page, you see that I probably tell too much, right? I share it all, because beautiful living isn't about all the glorified moments. Beautiful living is about showing the struggles and how I overcome, how you can overcome, how I overcame, how I'm overcoming, right? Because beautiful living, every day ain't beautiful, honey. It ain't. Every day don't feel beautiful. Every day just don't feel it. But it's the perception or the perspective of which the lens we choose to look at our situations to still make life beautiful. That's what this is all about. It's a journey, right? And so stop looking at social media as everybody have it all together, because that is not the truth. That is not the truth. Social media will have that everybody's life is all glorified. It's not. They just choosing to show you the glorified moments. So that is a false perception of what's really going on. And what about the fear of judgment or guilt? Women who set boundaries, and I'm big on boundaries, honey. We talk about boundaries all the time, or put themselves first, are sometimes labeled as selfish, neglectful, or not doing enough. And I have a relative that is really super duper close to me that often, at one point, she doesn't talk about it as much, talked about how when she wanted to, how she was often called selfish because she didn't want to do something. And I remember when she shared it, I remember those moments. And she started to feel bad about not wanting to step up and do certain things. And when she was called selfish, she put the needs of other people before her own needs. How many people can relate to that? How many people can relate to feeling in a way, if I don't do this, how I'm going to be looked at, right? Put it in the chat, me, or whatever it is, right? And the judgment of such. This fear of judgment discourages many women from prioritizing their own needs. And in this case, this loved one, she didn't prioritize herself to the point where she already had medical conditions and things like that. It started to show up even more in how she responded to people and all the things because of the judgment of other people. And she didn't prioritize her own needs, even when she felt overwhelmed. We can't allow people to label us as selfish, neglectful, all these things. That's their definition of what they said. Ain't got nothing to do with you. Ain't got nothing to do with you. You have to operate in how you feel at all times because it has nothing to do with you. Why this needs to change? Women must recognize that self-care and boundary setting are acts of self-preservation, not selfishness. Challenging societal expectation begins with rejecting the superwoman myth that I just talked about and redefining success as a balanced, fulfilling life, not one rooted solely in serving other people. I am big on serving others. I am. I always say you have to figure out how to serve other people because we all are put on this earth to serve, but not at the detriment of your well-being. Okay, there is a moment for serving, and then there's a moment that you have to pour back into yourself. There's a moment of serving. There's a moment that you need to pour even the more into yourself, because the more you serve, the more you're going to elevate. The more you elevate, the more you need to pour back into yourself so that you can continue to serve those who are assigned to you. Okay, and so we have to look at self-care as a necessity, as brushing your teeth. Self-care is a necessity as putting on your clean underwear, putting on deodorant, all those things. Putting on deodorant, putting on clean underwear, that's not self-care. I mean, that's something you're supposed to do, okay? So we ain't looking at that. Why do that? So that's self-care. No. That is not what I'm saying. You need to make sure self-care is just as important as those essential hygiene things that we do for ourselves, okay? So, and we have to challenge the societal expectations. Begins with rejecting the superwoman myth. I think I just said that. So by prioritizing your own well-being, you can set an example for future generations. I told y'all I have 3 daughters. Future generations, that taking care of oneself, yourself, myself is essential to showing up fully for others. My 3 daughters, honey, I tell you, they see their mama for a long time. Go. Baby girl still talk about me. I remember one time she said to me, Mom, if anything was to ever happen to you, I'll remember, the only thing I'll be able to remember you by is always doing, always working, always doing something. When baby girl said that to me, when I tell you everything came to a complete halt, I stopped doing hair in the hair salon. I stopped doing a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't mentor the kids, the at-risk juvenile kids no more. I dumped my MLM team. I was like, oh, baby, I got it. Okay, because she saw me just constantly going and doing and not taking care of myself, because she saw me laying on my back for 2 months as well. And she said, if anything was to ever happen to you and you're no longer on this earth, that's what I'm going to remember you by. And that is not what I want to leave the memory of my daughters. So baby girl has gotten the self-care down pat. Okay, she like, look, mama, we done doing what we got to do. Yeah, why? Because I'm about to go in my room, and when I close my door, mama, that's my time. And I'm about to go rub my feet together real good. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, go ahead, girl. I don't need nothing else, And I let her have that time, because it's very important that I'm seeing that how she's able to take care of herself even at 19. And so now I found myself saying, all right, girl, when she calls me while she's in college, I got to go rub my feet together, because I got that from her. She's like, I'm about to go close this door, and I'm about to go rub my feet together. So if you don't need anything else, once I close my door, Mama, please let me have that time. Please let me have that time. And so I'm glad that I'm teaching my daughters how to take care of themselves, and that self-care is a necessity now, before they become wives, before they become mothers, so that they can use those tools when they are mothers, that it's still important to take care of themselves. When they are a wife, if that's their desire, that they can still take care of themselves, right? and the importance of all of that. So remember, you can only give your best to the world when you first take care of yourself. So let me explain to you why self-care is a form of self-preservation, right? So self-care is often looked at as a luxury or something to do only when you have extra time. But in reality, it's crucial for our self-preservation. It involves taking intentional action to recharge your mind, your body, and your spirit so you can be the best version of yourself for other people. And when we think about self-care, it doesn't mean that you have to go get a massage. It doesn't mean that you have to spend all this money to have this luxury to take care of yourself and know that it's okay, right? That simply can mean that I'm going to go get this eucalyptus plant and I'm going to put it in the shower. And when I get in the shower, nobody can call my name. It is my time. I have created a spa-like atmosphere in this shower. And a eucalyptus plant, you can get that off Amazon. Y'all can go right to my Amazon storefront and go click on my self-care store and order you a eucalyptus plant, and it's going to come straight to your house. Or you can go to Trader Joe's. Okay, it doesn't take much to take care of yourself, right? When you practice self-care regularly, you're not just pampering yourself, you're protecting your well-being and ensuring that you continue to give, love, and care for those around you without depleting yourself. That means you need to be operating from the overflow, like I said, not your full cup. By nurturing your own needs, you build the resilience and energy necessary to navigate life's demands while maintaining your health and happiness. So, when you don't, you experience mental burnout. So when you constantly give to others without taking care of yourself, your body and mind becomes overworked and exhausted. I told y'all about it. I landed on my back for 2 months. It was not fun. I could not hear my kids' voice. I could not cook. I could not do anything. They were helpless because mama couldn't do nothing. And they had to learn how to fend for themselves during that time. And it was not a good place to be. It was such a scary place to be because I wasn't taking care of myself, putting myself first, that the doctors didn't even know what was going on for a long time. When you wake up and roll over and your mama's sitting on the side of your bed with relatives and they just sitting there waiting to see what's going to happen, that's not good. That's not a good place to be. So you don't need to be so overworked and exhausted that you're not taking the time to say, how can I pour it back into myself? A working mom who doesn't rest or take breaks might find yourself physically drained, unable to concentrate at work, and feeling overwhelmed by household responsibility. Over time, this can lead to burnout. I experienced it, affecting both your career and your personal life. You might experience fatigue, irritability, or even sickness, and it becomes harder for you to show up as the loving, productive person you once was. I experienced all of that. Burnout for not taking care of myself. Continually sacrificing your own needs for others can lead to feelings of resentment, okay? You know you got an attitude because you ain't really communicating what you need. You ain't talking and saying what you need from other people. So now you feel like you're sacrificing your own needs for others now you're resentful. When you give and give without taking time for yourself, you may feel unappreciated or taken even for granted. But the reality is most of us don't communicate what it is that we need. So a wife, for example, who constantly puts her spouse needs first while neglecting her own desires may begin to feel like she's doing all of the emotional work in the relationship. She may harbor resentment towards her partner for not noticing the sacrifices, again, because of lack of communication. This resentment can build over time, creating tension in the relationship and diminishes the quality of emotional connection. Nobody wants that. So just communicate what you need as a wife. Communicate what you need as a mom. Communicate what you need as a caregiver, whatever your role is, because we wear so many hats. Communicate what it is that you need in the time that you need it so that you can operate from the overflow and you can get the support and the help that you need so that you can live your best life. When you are not operating from the overflow, there's an increase of stress and anxiety. Overloading yourself with responsibilities without giving yourself the proper time to rest or recharge leads to heightened stress levels. A career-driven person who balances work, family, and social obligations without setting boundaries may begin to feel increasingly anxious, worrying about not being able to meet everyone's expectations. The constant pressure leads to anxiety. You can't sleep at night and difficulty focusing, which impacts both personal and professional life. And let me take it a step further. Because we are women, you can knock your hormones completely out of whack, because that's exactly what I did by doing all these things I'm talking about that landed me on my back for 2 months. So there is a thing called PCOS. There is a thing called PMDD. Look up the acronyms. And there is a thing called, you're going to knock your hormones completely. All of it's hormonal. So because we are hormonal human beings, if we're not careful, we can knock our hormones so out of whack that all of these things are heightened, and you can land on your back for 2 months and not knowing what's going on, right? So it brings me to, when you are not putting yourself first as women, you don't know who you are. And there's an identity crisis. And then you wake up one morning and you, Bianca's, I don't know where I got the name from. Well, a cousin named Bianca. You Bianca's mom, you Joe's wife, you all the things for everybody else. But you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are because you've been so entrenched in being all the hats that you have lost yourself. And I talk about that here in the Journey to Beautiful Living. I talk about losing yourself and how to regain your identity. You lose yourself, you don't recognize why you're here anymore. Purpose is not in the forefront because everybody else's needs have become a priority versus and not your own. And there is a loss of identity and self-worth. Neglecting your needs and focus solely on the needs of others could lead to a loss of personal identity. When you pour all your energy into the roles like mom, like the roles like wife and employee, it becomes easy to forget about who you are as an individual person. What is your purpose? You can relate. Diane says she can relate to this, right? And so for me, it's like, how can I not lose my identity and still show up for everybody else, right? So important to pause and take care of your needs. Yes, Aliza, it is so important that you do that, because at the end of the day, when you lose yourself, ain't nobody gonna benefit from you. Ain't nobody gonna benefit from you, because you don't know who you are anymore. Now there's true resentment. Now there's sickness, there's stress, there's anxiety, there's weight gain, weight loss, all the other things that comes with when you don't put yourself first. And when you have an identity crisis, you might as well say your world has come to a complete halt, because you don't know where to go, where to turn to, what you're supposed to be doing, how to show up, when to show up, all the things. So a mother who loses herself in caring for her children may forget to nurture her own passions because you don't know what they are. Because now we're talking about soccer games, basketball games, cheerleading, and football games, and all the things. I got to go run here. I got to go do this. I'm little Johnny's mom. I'm this and I'm that. What about you? What about you and what it is that you need? What about you? You show up looking raggedy. Your hair ain't together. You look thrown together. But I bet them kids didn't. You made sure they were good. And then you just put yourself together the best you knew how or what you had left. That is not beautiful living. You have created feelings of dissatisfaction, low self-esteem, and confusion about who you are beyond your responsibilities. If you ain't got my book, The Journey to Beautiful Living, 7 Pillars for Living a Fulfilled Life. Start here. Start here. Get the book tonight. Order it from KeisaCampbell.com. It will be in the mail tomorrow. You hear me? Get the book. Get the book. Okay. Then there's lack of emotional resilience, right? Without self-care, emotional resilience begins to weaken. Over time, you may become more susceptible to emotional exhaustion, stress, or even depression. I've just been talking about that. So you may be a woman who constantly sacrifices her own needs for others, may find yourself feeling emotionally drained. I'm tired. I don't feel like doing nothing. I don't feel like, and it could be something that you once found joy in that you no longer finding joy in anymore, because at the end of the day, you don't even know what it is that you like anymore. Everybody needs have taken precedence over yours that you don't even know. And so you may find yourself feeling emotionally drained after a challenging day at work or a family conflict, or unable to bounce back because you haven't nurtured your emotional well-being. And the result of this is your emotional, you depleted yourself emotionally, which leads to irritability, mood swings, or difficulty managing difficult situations with grace. And you're like, what's wrong with her, honey? Why is she walking here every day with attitude? Why every time I talk to her, she got a something on her shoulder? It's because she ain't putting herself first. It's because you ain't nurturing your well-being. All the beautiful things that make us great. But it starts with taking care of us first, right? And so when you make self-care a priority, you're not only preventing the negative effects of neglect, but you're also empowering yourself to give with intention and care. It's about building a sustainable foundation so that you can handle life's ups and downs without depleting yourself. That's what putting yourself is all about. By regularly practicing self-care, you create the space to feel rejuvenated. You create the space to feel more energized and emotional balance, which enables you to show up as your best self for those who matters the most for you in life. So self-care isn't indulgence. It's essential to your overall well-being and your ability to thrive in every area of your life. So in the chat, drop something you're going to do. Today is Wednesday. I don't care if you did it today. Put it in chat. What did you do for yourself that you know that you recognize that I put myself first? And if you didn't do anything for yourself, today is Wednesday. What do you plan to do for yourself? Put it in here. I want to know something that you plan to do for yourself before the week is out, that you know, like, this is putting myself first. The benefits of prioritizing yourself is improved mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical health. I'm looking for those comments in the chat too. Strengthen relationships as you give from a place of abundance, the overflow of your cup instead of depletion. Increase happiness and fulfillment by carving out time for passions and goals. Practical ways to put yourself first are setting boundaries. The word no is a complete sentence. N-O is how you spell it. Okay? N-O is how you spelled no. It's a complete sentence with a period, with the exclamation point, with a dot, dot, dot. Whatever it is that you need, it is what it is. No. Without feeling guilty, and then delegate responsibilities when possible. You ain't got to do it all. I had to learn how to delegate. Because for a long time, I took on everything. Until I was like, no, I ain't doing it all. I don't have to do it all. And why should I try to do it all? It's delegation season. Schedule your self-care. So I want to know what y'all doing this week. Schedule it. Block time for activities that rejuvenate you, like exercise, hobbies, or relaxation. Communicate your needs. Nobody know what it is that you need but you. So let your family, your friends, your colleagues know when you need support or personal time. Celebrate your wins. Acknowledge the progress you're making, no matter how small. I need y'all to put in the chat what y'all planning to do this week for yourself that indicate that you're putting yourself first. What self-care practice are you going to be doing? Because the holidays are amongst us. It's been amongst us. And this is the season where, honey, people tend to get overwhelmed in all the things. So what are you going to do to prioritize yourself first? And how putting yourself first benefit others? I'm going to tell you about it. When you put yourself first, when you care for yourself first, lean in a little bit, you become more patient, loving, and present. You demonstrate to your children, your spouse, and the team or whoever that self-care is essential, encouraging them to prioritize their well-being too. Y'all didn't put it in the chat. Y'all need to put it in the chat. Y'all still thinking? Just put thinking in the chat. At least I know you're thinking about it. Because I'm about to close out. What I want and hope y'all got from this is that putting yourself first is a necessity. It is not selfish. And that when you don't take time for yourself, that you can end up on your back like I did for 2 months, right? Wearing a superwoman cape. That's not cute. It's not sexy. It's not pretty. It's not beautiful. It's not none of that. Okay. I had to take that cape off and leave it right there. It is a myth that people in society will have us thinking that it's good because they celebrate. Girl, she got it going on, honey. She doing this, and that. But they ain't trying to celebrate when you're taking care of yourself. They look at that as neglectful, you being selfish, you ain't showing up for somebody and all the things. Take care of you. While you still have the ability to take care of you, take care of you. Okay? So thank you for joining me tonight on A Beautiful Living with Keisa. I hope you're feeling inspired and empowered to put yourself first because you deserve it. Remember, taking care of yourself doesn't mean you're neglecting others. It means you're creating the space and energy to be your best for the people who matters to you the most. This week, I challenge you. I challenge each one of you to carve out time just for you, whether it's taking a long walk, indulging in a hobby, full body massage, girl, and I love it. Whether it's indulging in a hobby or simply sitting in peace and quiet. That in itself is self-care, right? You are worth it. For more practical tips and how you can continue to grow and elevate in life and style, grab my book, The Journey to Beautiful Living. I've been talking about it all night. This thing, if this don't teach you how to put yourself first, walk in purpose, knowing that it's okay, it's self-care, all the things, okay? Get it. Get it tonight, okay? Taking a hot bath, yes. Yes, and just sit in there. Don't rush it. Put a do not disturb on your door. All the things. And that don't cost you nothing but the water bill. Oh, I had to laugh at myself at that. Okay. That doesn't cost you nothing but the water bill. Okay. You're going to pay for the water anyway. So indulge in that. Indulge in that. And so, yes, great read. Yes, Diane, thank you for that. Yes, thank you for that. And so grab the book. Grab the book. And also to go deeper on your style journey, I have a ebook called Release the Style Within You. Get it at KeisaCampbell.com/shop. Get the book at KeisaCampbell.com/shop. Okay. Follow me on my LTK shop and Amazon storefronts. Links in my bio for more fashion tips. These resources are designed to help you embrace your authentic self, cultivate your unique style, and live out your purpose with excellence. Visit my website at KeisaCampbell.com if you are ready to live out your purpose, career, and show up in style and confidence. One other thing, I am starting, and I'm so excited, the Beautiful Living movement. Honey, y'all are going to be in for a treat. So to find out more about that, go to bit.ly/B movement. bit.ly/B movement to sign up for the interest meeting that I'll be having this upcoming Saturday. I would love to have each and every one of y'all because next year we're kicking it off and we're going to be doing some things, okay? And so, as always, thank you so much for tuning in to Beautiful Living with Keisa. I appreciate each and every one that shows up every week. Beautiful living isn't just a destination, it's a journey that we take every single day. It's about deciding what we want our lives to look like and taking the steps to make making that vision a reality. Every day above ground is an opportunity to make your life truly beautiful. It's not about perfection. It's not about perfection. It's not about it being perfect, but it's about progress. Let's take this journey together, supporting and uplifting one another along the way. If tonight's conversation resonated with you, please share this episode with someone who might need this reminder. Click the share. Share this episode. There are women that are following you that needs to hear this. Click the share button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to take care of you. I had to put that in here again. Don't forget to take care of you. Let's continue to build a life that is as beautiful on the inside as it is on the outside. I'll see you next time for more real talk, inspiration, and empowerment right here on the Beautiful Living with Keisa show. Until next time, keep embracing your journey, keep living beautifully, and always remember your next chapter is waiting for you to make it amazing. And know that beautiful living truly awaits you. Good night.